Kevin's problem is that Kevin ended up getting with this girl. She made herself very available to him. She was very disrespectful to me.
Wendy Williams has never been one to hold back.
I'm a fair game player and a straight shooter too.
But this story goes deeper than the headlines. What looked like a strong marriage on the outside was quietly falling apart behind the scenes.
Who moved to the big city with bright lights, and she wanted to be a model.
And when the truth finally came out, it didn't just surprise people. It turned her personal life into a full-blown public drama. Because once everything was exposed, the story of love, betrayal, and tough choices took center stage, and there was no turning back from it. We all know Wendy Williams as the undisputed queen of shade. And let's be real, she doesn't even have to try that hard to deliver it.
Go, look, see that guy right there? He's got money. See, because I knew the scene.
So, the second she heard that her ex-husband, Kevin Hunter, got left by his longtime side partner, Sharina Hudson, you could almost feel the smirk through the room. Wendy didn't go over the top or do anything extra. She just dropped a slick little comment. The kind that sounds casual, but hits like a mic drop. It's that signature style where you blink and realize, yeah, she meant every word. And the timing, it's perfect because this might be the very first taste of tea from her comeback season.
Forth with, do we stay? Maybe there's a marriage counseling or something. No!
Wendy's been spotted out lately with her son, and the difference is loud without her saying a thing. She's glowing, moving lighter, and looking like she finally left all that heavy relationship drama in the past where it belongs. It's giving peace, confidence, and just a hint of I've got something coming energy. Now, people close to her are saying she's getting ready to step right back into daytime TV and reclaim her spot like she never left. And knowing Wendy, she's not about to tiptoe back in quietly. There's real talk that she could come in strong and put Kevin Hunter and Sharina right under that bright spotlight. The kind that exposes everything and has everybody watching like,
I just felt like this wasn't for me, that, I was eating a different lifestyle.
Now that the situation between Kevin and Sharina is officially finished, Wendy is basically sitting back like, so what exactly am I staying quiet for now? Because let's be real, she's been holding on to this tea for years. This was never breaking news for her. She had the inside scoop way before anyone else even knew there was something going on. While the public was catching up, Wendy had already processed it, lived through it, and moved on. And ever since that divorce, she's been dropping those subtle little hints. The kind where she doesn't say names, but everybody knows exactly who she's talking about. In her post-divorce interviews, Wendy played it smooth, but sharp. She didn't come out swinging with direct accusations, but the message was still loud if you were really listening. She kept hinting that Sharina didn't just randomly end up in Kevin's life. She saw a door open and walked right through it. The luxury, the lifestyle, the access that was the real appeal. And Wendy, she was watching it all unfold like, I already know what this is. No confusion, no surprises, just quiet understanding. And for a while, it really looked like Sharina's plan was working perfectly. From the moment Kevin noticed her, everything shifted. His life started moving in a completely different direction. The routine he had with Wendy gone. The structure replaced. Suddenly, it was less about stability and more about excitement. More about living in the moment. It was like he traded in a steady life for something unpredictable and flashy. But like people always say, it takes two to tango. When Wendy found out her husband had built an entirely separate life behind her back, that was at no fixing that kind of situation.
I've talked about it all on TV and radio.
Yeah.
There is so much more to the story.
Wendy Williams didn't just walk away from her marriage. She walked out of a storm that had been tearing her apart for years. And even though the split came with heartbreak, betrayal, and public humiliation, she made one thing crystal clear. She was finally choosing herself over a relationship that had already collapsed behind the scenes. While Wendy was trying to protect her peace, Kevin Hunter looked completely locked into his new life with Sharina Hudson. And he wasn't moving carefully either. He went all out, throwing money around like there was no limit. Luxury dinners, designer bags, expensive gifts, flashy cars. He built an entire fantasy world around this relationship. And he didn't even bother hiding it. The biggest flex? Sharina casually riding around in a gold Ferrari, while Kevin played the role of big shot provider. But Wendy saw through the situation from the very beginning. She never believed this was some fairy tale romance. In her mind, the connection was tied to the lifestyle Kevin could provide using the wealth and success built during their marriage. And honestly, as time passed, more and more people started believing Wendy may have been right all along. Kevin didn't just risk his marriage, he completely abandoned it. After 25 years together, he was willing to throw away decades of loyalty, memories, and partnership without hesitation. Meanwhile, Wendy stayed quiet longer than people realized. She knew what was happening, knew money was flowing elsewhere, and hoped the situation would eventually collapse on its own. But then 2019 changed everything forever. The moment Sharina became pregnant with Kevin's child, there was no more pretending the affair was temporary. The betrayal became permanent, public, and impossible to ignore. That was Wendy's breaking point. She filed for divorce immediately and mentally checked out of the marriage for good. But here's where things got interesting. Wendy didn't move emotionally, she moved strategically. She knew her career was still strong, her finances were secure, and she no longer needed Kevin. Instead of fighting publicly, she let reality expose everything naturally. By agreeing to alimony, she flipped the power dynamic completely. Suddenly Kevin, the man once acting like the provider, became financially dependent on Wendy. And once the money slowed down, the cracks started showing fast. The polished image Kevin had carefully built began falling apart in public. In court, he admitted he was struggling badly, saying he couldn't pay his bills or maintain his lifestyle anymore. That glamorous picture he sold to everyone suddenly looked very different. The luxury started fading, the pressure piled up, and reality finally entered the chat. That's when things reportedly shifted for Sharina too. The lifestyle she had grown used to started disappearing, and according to many watching the situation unfold, so did the relationship. Eventually, she walked away, leaving Kevin drowning in debt and facing a reality far removed from the flashy image he once projected. Meanwhile, Wendy had already moved on emotionally and financially. From her perspective, the outcome spoke for itself. If the relationship was truly built on love, why did it collapse once the comfort and money disappeared? That question followed the entire situation like a shadow. As the drama exploded online, fans didn't hold back. Many pointed out that Kevin had allegedly funded homes, businesses, and luxuries for Sharina while still married to Wendy. Others openly mocked how quickly everything fell apart once the financial flow slowed down. To the internet, the downfall looked less like bad luck and more like karma catching up in real time. Ironically, the divorce may have become one of the best things that ever happened to Wendy. After years of carrying emotional weight, she finally looked freer, sharper, and more focused. She stopped funding chaos, stopped protecting a broken situation, and let time reveal the truth without constantly defending herself. But the mess didn't stay private. Wendy's divorce became one of the most talked about celebrity scandals in recent memory. The drama was so explosive it even inspired the documentary What a Mess, which perfectly captured how chaotic the entire situation became. Once Wendy publicly addressed Sharina on daytime television, public opinion shifted instantly. Sharina went from being hidden in the background to becoming the center of criticism online. Still, behind all the headlines was something much darker: Wendy's health struggles. The stress from the betrayal, non-stop media attention, and public embarrassment reportedly took a serious toll on her physically and emotionally. Fans watched a woman who always seemed confident and untouchable suddenly battle very real personal challenges. But Wendy didn't disappear forever. Recently, she's been seen spending time with her son in Florida, looking healthier, calmer, and more like herself again. And while she rebuilds her life, Kevin and Sharina continue facing public criticism, financial pressure, and the fallout from years of controversy. Reports even suggest Kevin has been pushed to sell major assets as the pressure keeps mounting. And Wendy? She clearly isn't staying silent anymore. There's a sense that she wants this entire story to mean something not just for herself, but for Kevin too. Because from her point of view, none of this had to happen. The marriage didn't collapse overnight. It crumbled under choices, ego, temptation, and the illusion that money could hold everything together forever. Now the biggest question hanging over this entire saga is the one nobody can fully answer. Was this relationship ever truly about love, Or did it only survive while the lifestyle stayed luxurious and comfortable? Because once the money dried up and the fantasy cracked, everything else seemed to collapse right along with it. Drop your thoughts in the comments because I really want to know what you think about this story. Thanks for watching. I truly appreciate you being here. Don't forget to like, share, and if you're new around here, go ahead and subscribe so you don't miss any of the latest updates. And trust me, there's always more stories waiting for you right here. So stick around and check out what's next. Take care, and I'll see you.